Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the podcast by the Sons of Technology. Today, we are going to be talking about Fall Q, which is happening this weekend, which is why this is a special Wednesday drop of this episode. So you can get the juices flowing. You can start getting your schedule picked out. You can identify who the keynotes are and the special events that are happening. And hey, if you're not signed up, you can head over to q.org/fall and sign up, since it is all virtual. Now, this is going to be a great episode because we're going to kind of pick through some of the sessions and events that we would want to go to when we are attending Fall Q. But we also want to hear, like, maybe through the socials, what you're excited about by using the hashtag Fall Q moniker in any of your posts. But before we get started, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Joe Marquez. I am Director of Academic Innovation for Q. I'm an educator out of the Central Valley of California. And if you are on the Twitterers, you can find me at Joe Marquez70. And as always, my partner in innovation, Kyle Anderson. Kyle, please introduce yourself.
Kyle Anderson, special education teacher from Las Vegas, Nevada. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Anderson EdTech. My blog is andersonedtech.net. I'm also the author of To the Edge, Successes and Failures Through Risk-Taking. That is available on Amazon. It's also on barnesandnoble.com and through my publisher, EduMatch Publishing. So now Fall Q is an event that every fall, obviously, look forward to that one. This year, we were looking forward to it possibly being in person, but a lot of those COVID restrictions still in place, and a lot of districts are a little wary about sending teachers out to an in-person event because of a lot of those restrictions that are still happening. So it is going to be virtual this year. And full disclosure, I mentioned this in our last episode, I am not going to be participating in Fall Q this year. So just different things going on here at home. And then I'm also playing in a hockey tournament that same weekend. So my days are going to be filled with playing hockey and then probably napping in between games because the schedule for this hockey tournament is really crazy. I have one game on the Saturday if Fall Q starts at 7 a.m. and then I don't have another one until 11 p.m. that night. So, and I have a game the night before too. So probably be napping off and on throughout that Saturday of Fall Q to get ready for my games. And then if we do well enough, my next game after that's at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. So like we're talking a difference between when we finish and then the next game, like 6.5 hours is all. So
well, that equipment is going to be ripe on Sunday morning. I'll tell you that much.
I take care of my stuff. That stuff gets set out and aired out, and then I have Febreze on top of that. So that's me. I have teammates though that like they will play a game on say a Thursday night, throw their stuff in the bag, and then they don't take it out again until that following Thursday, and it is absolutely disgusting. And I make it known to them that they are just disgusting human beings when they do that too. So, but let's talk a little bit about this event here. So a lot of sessions. We got keynote speakers again, and this is all virtual. So if you are listening and have not signed up, you can do that still. So, but let's talk a little bit about this, Joe. So what are some of the highlights? Give us the rundown of this event.
Yeah, well, so first I want to start off by saying, if you have a hockey tournament you got to go to, that's completely understandable, everybody. But I want people to know out there that this event, not only is it virtual, but majority of every session is going to be recorded. So if you went to a face-to-face event, and I always say that this is one of the benefits that this time of COVID has really kind of brought to events. It's that in a traditional event, there's probably only 10 hours of sessions that you could physically go to, right? And so you have events that say over 200 sessions. There's no way you're going to be able to go to all 200 sessions. There's probably like 10 sessions on day one and 10 sessions on day two that you could go to, maybe even less, right? But because they are virtual, they are going to be recorded. So if you wanted to, you can synchronously go live to all the sessions that you want. But then you can go after the fact all the way through December 31st, Kyle, all the way to almost the end of the year to go back and review any session that you may have missed. So in actuality, if you wanted to view all 200 sessions, you actually could, right? So that is, I would say, a benefit in that we're going virtual. But you're absolutely right. We had planned for a face-to-face event for a very long time. We were going to have it at the fantastic Teachers College of San Joaquin in Stockton, California. A great facility, the great staff over there. We had some great plans, but it just didn't happen because of, well, there's lots of sub shortages. Right. So even though the event is on the weekend, a lot of people would probably want to take that Friday off to drive up there, and there's no subs for that. And just a variety of different things on why people were saying, we'd love to go, but we just can't. And we at Q were like, oh, are we going to have to go virtual? And we instantly thought like this.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
But you know what? Things happen. And so we were sitting at a meeting and we said, you know what? We have to pivot.
Pivot!
Right. So that's what we had to do. We had to pivot. We went back to virtual, but we still have an amazing lineup for you. Lots of great things you can interact with, some great after hours events. And that's why we wanted to have this episode for you, to give you the chance to make that final decision. If you're sitting here listening to this on Wednesday, October 20th, and you're like, Fall Q is happening October 23rd and 24th. It's still going to happen in a few days. Maybe I can sign up. Maybe I want to sign up. Maybe I can finally ask my admin, hey, can we do one last push of signups? Get in there, because you're going to have lots of great resources all the way through the end of the year. So, Kyle, are you ready to hear some of the amazing things happening at Fall Q this year?
I am. And in the meantime, I'm also on the website kind of scrolling through as you're talking about these. So if you want to do the same thing while you're listening, just Google Fall Q 2021, and the CVent website with all these sessions are going to come up for you. So you can do the same thing. You can follow along as you're kind of talking a little bit about some of these things.
Yeah, I definitely go there, or you can go to q.org/fall, and then there's a thing that says schedule. You can see all the different presenters and sessions and everything, and the whole schedule there. It's really great. The Attendee Hub will be opened next week. It should be open today. So if you go to if you actually are registered for the conference, you can go to the Attendee Hub and actually start adding sessions to your session schedule. So you can already pre-plan. So definitely do that. First, I want to talk about our keynotes. I'm really excited about our keynotes. One is a friend of Q. I've known him for a very long time, J.R. Ginnick's Orinian. He is an amazing individual, an amazing speaker, but also he is an amazing teacher. He is not only a Google innovator, but he is a YouTube education contributor, Microsoft Innovative Educator. He is great. And his keynote is going to be on the new normal, what the rapid expansion of EdTech has taught us about ourselves and one another. And so he's not just talking about like what happened during the pandemic. It's like technology should be a new normal for us. It should be just as readily available as a pen and paper. How can we get that to happen? So that's going to be a very inspiring keynote. And then we also have the amazing Dr. Rochelle Rogers-Ard, who does a lot of great work in the space of leadership, in the space of DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, and just does a lot of great things with organizations and school sites on ensuring that every student is given the best possible learning outcome through a variety of features and strategies. So you cannot miss hers. And her keynote is going to be called Swimming in the Waters of Whiteness. Just that title is very intriguing to me. And so, sometimes you got to have an intriguing title to really perk the ears up. And that one I want to go to just to see what she's going to be talking about. If you had to choose between one of those two keynotes, Kyle, just based on the title, which one would you say, like, I have to go to that live? Like, you can watch both of them asynchronously, but which one would you want to go to live to be in the chat room?
Nothing against Mr. Ginnick's there, but Miss Rogers-Ard, that definitely is one that I would want to attend live just to kind of see what the interaction is in that chat, and and possibly any sort of other interaction afterwards. So, but both of those keynotes do sound incredible. Both very timely topics in the education space. But again, nothing against Mr. Jennings, Miss Rogers. So her keynote sounds like something I'd really want to attend live.
Yeah, I mean, just to see what that chat is going to be about is going to be great. And again, though, these sessions are going to be recorded. So if you do register for the event, you can go back and rewatch any of these all the way up until December 31st, all the way through. Now, before we get to some of the sessions, I know you're still looking at some of the sessions that you would want to attend, Kyle. I do want to talk about a few of the standard Q sessions that we normally do, but they always kind of get different speakers. And so one of them is a session that we've both been a part of ever since it originated in Spring Q 2020, and that is Meet the Podcasters. Meet the Podcasters is going to be happening on Saturday, October 23rd at noon, so 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And in this session, you're going to be able to meet some of the hosts of your favorite podcasts, and you can ask them questions, ask them about their why did they create the podcast, how do they create the podcast, what tools do they create. And usually at the end there's about 10-15 minutes to kind of talk about starting your own podcast, what tools and strategies you need for that. And I just wanted to list some of the podcasts that we're going to have here for you on that day. So there's Rebel Educator by Tanya Sheckley. There's Teacher Dudes by friend of the show, Tyler Keefe. There's the Dr. Will Show, which I tell you, I listened to that one. Dr. Will is amazing. I've been trying to get him on this for a while, and now that it's virtual, he's going to be here. So the Dr. Will Show. Lemonade Learning from the one and only Lainey Rao. Rethinking Learning Podcast by Barbara Bray. Divided Together by Anne-Marie Tipton. Blended Learning in Action by Charity Dodd. Finding Our Tribe by Fabian Hoffman. And of course, I will be moderating, so I will be sharing the joy. That is the Sons of Technology podcast. And maybe I'll give a shout out to Beer EDU as well, just to curry you some favor while you're playing hockey.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, it was just one of those deals that with everything going on, just was not possible to do it this time around. But if you could say something, that would be great. So yeah, that's one that's always been fun since that was implemented a couple of years ago. The other one that is something that's been around for a while that I have participated in, but again, will not be able to this year, is the Meet the Author session. So I'm sure we got a lot of different authors that are being featured as well this time around.
We do. There's quite a few of the authors of books that I have read or have on my list. And so I just want to name a few of them. So one of them is Power Up Your Classroom Reimagined Through Gameplay. Gameplay is a phenomenal way to get learning to stick and engagement in the classroom. So that is a great one by very, very great Q members, Kate Tolnai and Lindsay Blass. They are the co-authors of that book. Really great friends of ours, Atticat, who just welcomed a brand new baby girl into this world a few weeks ago. They're going to be sharing their complete EdTech coach and organic approach to supporting digital learning, their book. We also have Debbie Tannenbaum with her book, Transforming Techie Notes, Making Learning Stick. A friend of ours, Lisa Nowakowski, she is going to be sharing the EduProtocols Field Guide Math Edition in that session. Here's a really cool one. It's Because of a Teacher, Stories of the Past to Inspire Future of Education. That is the new book by George Kuros. So he will be there with Stephanie Rothstein to go over that book and the history behind that. So that's going to be fun. Katie Martin and her book, Evolving Education. Here's a fun one from Amanda Fox and Mary Ellen Weeks. It's Teaching Land, a teacher's survival guide to the classroom apocalypse. That title is very intriguing to me. And the book cover to that is very fun. And then finally, another great one by Barbara Bray, Defining Your Why, your own story so you can live and learn on purpose. Those authors will all be at Meet the Authors happening on Sunday, October 24th. At 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as well. So noon o'clock, right on lunchtime, that's when you'll be able to meet the authors. So it's a great place to listen to their story, how they came up with their literature, but also pick their brains a little bit about it as well. So really fun session. Definitely attend.
Yeah, again, I've always had fun doing that one for my book, To the Edge: Success and Failures Through Risk Taking. So I expect that it would be no different this time around. A lot of books that I actually have not heard of yet. So ones that are new to the Meet the Author session at Fall Q and Spring Q, because again, this is one that's been going on for quite a time now. So now, other sessions that are going on. So I'm looking at the schedule. You've also got a lot of the affiliates that are having their meetings during this time, where people from each affiliate can kind of mingle a little bit as well, even if it is just virtually.
No, yeah, I mean the affiliates really asked for the affiliate meetings to happen before the event officially kicks off, meaning before the keynote, just so they can go through some thises and that, some giveaways, some free things. At a face-to-face conference, this is where you'd be given like a T-shirt or some swag for your affiliate, so you can show it around the conference. And so we really wanted to prepare for Spring Q by making sure that the affiliates had a space to meet if they wanted to. So that is how the session is going to kick off. But the keynote from Dr. Rochelle Rogers-Ard starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday, which means this: you don't have to wake up like at 8 or 9 o'clock to get to the keynote. Right? If you don't want to attend a Q affiliate session, you can wake up, you could go for a walk, you can get some fresh air outside, have a pot of coffee, and be ready for that 10 a.m. keynote so that you're not tired, you're ready to go. So that's pretty cool. Did you find any other sessions as you were perusing through the sessions that really piqued your interest and said, that would be something I wanted to go to?
Well, I'm looking around here, and as a teacher in a district that uses Canvas, I'm seeing some different Canvas LMS sessions that I think would be really good. There's especially one called Hidden Gems in Canvas LMS at 11 o'clock on Saturday. That one is being presented by Andrea Earl. And I mean, I consider myself somebody that's very proficient with Canvas, but you never know. Canvas is a very elaborate tool, and I'm sure there's some great things that Andrea is going to be presenting in that session. So that's definitely one that I would want to take a look at. Looking around too. So Bill Selleck's got one, how might we make classrooms and conferences more accessible through text? So something that has been our life now for almost 2 years. I mean, well, beyond that, but especially these last couple of years. And Mr. Selleck is just an incredible technology leader in the first place. So that would be a great session there. So, but man, there's so many great sessions here. Just the scroll through ones that are just popping out is just, I can't even begin to narrow things down here. So
yeah, I was actually talking to Bill the other day, and that session is very unique because Bill was saying that they wanted to continue to do like assemblies at their school, but they also wanted to provide space at the assemblies. So they didn't want to have the kids sitting right next to each other, to have that space in between. But he's like, how can we do this? And so what he ended up doing is there is now this rotation. Certain classes can go to the face-to-face assembly, which Bill then live streams via StreamYard to the classrooms, to those who don't get to go to the face-to-face. So everybody gets to see the assembly, but some are face-to-face and others are watching it digitally. And then the next time they do a assembly, they swap. So the ones that didn't get to go face-to-face that last time, they get to go face-to-face this time. And he says it's great because not only are the assemblies now recorded, but parents at home can watch the assemblies if they wanted to. You don't have a huge packed gym. So he's going to share the kind of the tools that he uses, the different equipment that he uses. Some of it is very budget friendly and some of it is not so budget friendly, right? But he's going to show you how to make it happen. So I found it very interesting on why he created that session, and he's actually doing this at his school.
That sounds really great. Like I said, Bill Selleck is an incredible leader, so I'm sure that one's going to be just a great session. So one of the most intriguing ones I have found looking through, though, is one titled Pre-Post-COVID Education. This is still hard. So Gabriel Valdez is presenting that one, and it's more of a panel session, really just kind of people sharing their experiences from a variety of grade levels and subject areas on transitioning from COVID learning, emergency learning, whatever you want to call it, back into quote unquote, throwing up the air quotes, normal. and how this is incredibly hard. And I mean, I cannot tell you how exhausted I've been over these first couple months of the new school year. And I'm at the point where I feel like I normally do right around the time you're going into spring break, where I am just absolutely fried. And I'm looking forward to weekends a lot more. I'm looking forward to those extended breaks a lot more. And it's just, I would love to hear from what other people are experiencing as well. And this is a session I feel that would really put that out there.
Well, these sessions, have some really great content because it is from teachers who are in the classroom, right? And so they're actually practicing teachers that are trying these things out. And, I'll tell you, the first time I started going to conferences, like back in 2012, 2013, a lot of the sessions that resonated with me were tool sessions, right? Like, come see how this tool works, or come see how that tool works. But now I'm like, I can learn about a tool on YouTube. I can learn about this. I want to dive deeper into the strategy behind getting students to learn. And so that's what I really look for. So there's one right here at 11 o'clock on Saturday, the 23rd. By Anna McVeigh Murphy. That says creative design, a framework for teaching and assessing through creativity. That really resonates with me because it's about, it's this framework it looks like she created or she utilizes from the National Assessment of Educational Progress. And I want to see what that looks like. So that looks pretty cool. And going along that same mindset, there's another session at 11 o'clock. And see, this is the cool thing about virtual. So there's these two sessions I want to go to at 11 o'clock. In a face-to-face, I'd have to make a pick, right? But now on a virtual, I can pick one and then I can watch the other one later because they're all going to be recorded and updated. But this next one is called Tech with Intention, applying SAMR model to amplifying lesson design. So a lesson design session. This one's by Crystal Hart. I'm really interested in going to that one as well. So those are the things that are instantly kind of perking my ears up, my interest up on this first day of Fall Q, October 23rd, as we're going through these sessions.
Yeah, and I was in the same boat as you a few years ago when I started attending Q conferences. It was about tools and how to use various tools. And I'm seeing a lot of sessions that are still tool based, which obviously, a lot of people, they may not know about certain tools, even those ones that we think are so popular now. Like, how do you not know about those? There are still people out there that don't know about those. So those are absolutely essential sessions still. But I'm seeing a lot more sessions now that are addressing things like SEL. They're addressing things like equity and empathy and blended learning, not just in-person learning or distance learning. So inclusion. So lots of different sessions here that are beyond the technology at this point. So, which is the reason why Q is no longer referred to as computer using educators, because we're beyond that now. And
every teacher uses a computer, right? Every teacher uses a computer. It's almost like saying, plane flying pilots or something, right? It's like, it's everybody uses a computer in education. So let's amplify the use and go beyond computer using and go to engaging educators, go to creative educators, that kind of stuff. So you're absolutely right. Like I see one right here from the one and only Kim Vogie, SEL and UDL to create harmony. And when I look at that, UDL is making sure that every student has the opportunity to understand what is being asked of them and then given the leeway to respond in a modality that best fits them. And Kim is great at that. So that's a cool one to go to. Again, that's another one at 11 o'clock on that Saturday. I mean, that's 3 that I would want to go. Here's another one by Jen Roth. May I use this? Ending copyright confusion. Because that confuses a lot of people. And here's a story that I want to say about copyright infringement. Driving back from Spring Q one year, I was driving with a few different people. I think it was Ryan Schwartz from the Modesto area. And we were driving back home and I saw a giant billboard. And they had an image and then a text off to the side, but over the image in a watermark, it said iStock. on this giant billboard. And I'm like, oh, that marketing company just grabbed this off of Google Images and didn't even see that it had an iStock watermark on it. I'm like, how embarrassing. But this is exactly what needs to happen, because people don't know, what can I use? What can I not use? What, how far do I have to modify it before I can now use it? What's fair use, what's not. So that's a very, so right now I am just like, man, there's so many amazing sessions at 11 o'clock right off the bat. Let me count them for you right now, Kyle. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 sessions happening at 11 o'clock, right? And that's the same across every hour. You have so many sessions to choose from. Every single time block has a session for your grade level, has a session for what you're looking for, has a session for your content department. It's all there. And we built that by design so that every hour you want to stay engaged.
And that's just for Saturday. We haven't even gotten anything on Sunday. But before we start getting into the Sunday sessions, you got to remember too, that there's another session that was implemented a few years ago, one of those that's really fun, and that's the Q Booms. So I participated in Q Booms at Spring Q. The last time we were in person actually at Spring Q was when I participated in this one. I actually opened up, I believe it was on, I can't remember if it was Friday morning or Saturday morning. I think it was Friday morning, but that was the first session of the day, and I was asked to start the day off that morning. So, but tell us a little bit about Q Booms and what's going on with that.
Yeah, so Q Booms it's basically a 3-minute mic drop from educators, an inspiring story, an inspiring speech, an inspiring experience, something to get the juices flowing, and you have 3 minutes to do it. And I'll tell you, taking something that you're passionate about and putting it all on the line in 3 minutes is a very daunting task, right? And you're given a slide deck and told, okay, this is your slide deck, and usually you have to go through it at a rapid pace. But I'll tell you, these boomers do a great job with it. And I'll tell you, here's some of the boomers that we're going to be having on that Saturday Q Boom session. We have Q board members Denise Douglas and Lisa DeLapo going out there and doing some booms. We have Angela De Ramos, Marilyn McAllister, Brian Lopez, Jenny Wee, Steven Special, Charikita Arnold, Sharisa Chan, Carissa Marin, Matt Rasher, Ferrari Green, Catlin Driscoll, Angela Compslinto Holmes. We have just a huge slate. I don't know how we're going to get through all of those booms in a 60-minute session, but our facilitators, Valerie Sun and Abigail Amarito, do a phenomenal job at moderating that and hosting that session. And so I know that they're going to do a phenomenal job at this year's Fall Q Boom session. And Kyle, do you know what time that session happens on Saturday?
I did notice that's a 3 p.m. So kind of breaks up the afternoon a little bit. So if you're doing sessions from, say, 10 a.m. on, you got 3 p.m. That one is a great one to go to kind of break things up a little bit. And then there's still sessions after that as well. So nice little mid-afternoon break.
Yeah. So that's a cool session to go to. And again, those will be recorded. A couple other sessions that I was really looking at going, oh, that would be awesome to go to. One of them is by Leticia Citizen, Close Reading Through Culturally Relevant Music. So they go through music lyrics, and they go through that and relate it to their content. What was the artist thinking about? It's really great. Instead of just going through a book of literature, you're going through a book of lyrics. I think that's pretty cool. That's a definite session that you have to go to. We love this person, Jamie Fagan. She's doing digital reading and post-pandemic education. That's pretty cool. Here's one that really pops off to me. Building connection using Google tools, right? So that's a big thing. That's another part of SEL, is making sure students can feel like they are connected, making sure your staff feels you're connected, your teams feel like they're connected. And so she's going to go through a whole bunch of different ways of like Google Docs and Google Slides and Google Jamboards on how you can stay connected in the classroom. That's pretty cool. And then here's a cool one by Jamie Alacron. Anything with the word hacking in it really piques my interest. So hacking Google Classroom for equitable grading. All right. That really interests me as well. What is equitable grading? I want to read more. I want to see more. So that's going to be pretty cool. And that's at 3:00. Man, there's just so many great sessions in here. You have to go to q.org/fall, click on session, and just see how many amazing sessions are here. It's like a cornucopia of goodness available for you, right? I mean, shoot, here's another pretty cool one by Jennifer Scott, another amazing educator. Creative Wednesdays. What does that mean? Activities. It's for English language learners. Things. It's just so cool. You have to check that one out. I don't know, Soar with Seesaw. I mean, I'm not a big Seesaw user. I've used it a couple times because I know it's a big thing in K2 or K3, but I don't know the ins and outs of it. So I would probably want to go and see a little bit more. So that's a pretty cool one. Blended Learning, The Next Level by Susan Stewart at 5:00 that Saturday. Brent Warner always does a phenomenal job when he presents. So he's got one called Finding the Fun in Feedback. Try to say that 5 times fast. Finding the fun in feedback. That's a really cool one. Right there. Catherine Goyette, it'll be like 4 weeks after her giving birth. She's doing a session, 4 C's of the Future, lesson design that empowers. A lot of really cool, great stuff. And again, that is just Saturday. We haven't even touched the surface of Sunday yet. But wait, there's more, Kyle. Right?
You're the ShamWow guy now?
I'm the ShamWow guy because there's a wowness to this. We are doing after hours events as well. So on Saturday, we are bringing back by popular demand Q Trivia. So for fall and spring, we did 80s trivia night with questions from television, music, movies, literature, all this pop culture stuff. We did 80s. Now we're moving up a decade to the 90s. So definitely expect some MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice questions. Definitely expect some Friends, Seinfeld, and Saved by the Bell questions. Oh, and you have to absolutely be prepared for Jurassic Park questions and Home Alone questions, and just, I mean, I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. I'll tell it that way, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, Mortal Kombat, the movie. There's so many great things about the 90s, and we're going to be doing trivia for prizes on Saturday night, so you can't miss that at all. Whoa, and that's just Saturday the 23rd. And there's a whole nother day after that, right?
Yeah, and the session that starts off the day that just jumped at me right off the bat for Sunday, yoga and social emotional learning. So I, in the last year or so, started to dabble in yoga a little bit. I've never been to a session like at a yoga studio or anything with other people. I do the yoga that is on the Peloton app that I pay for monthly for my Peloton bike. And I have found that not only does yoga help me out as an athlete, where it stretches me out real nice, it relaxes me more. I just find the calming effect overall from doing yoga to be something that is incredible. And I'm really upset it took me, I'm 40, so it took me almost 40 years to figure it out that yoga was such an incredible thing. So, and I actually was having a conversation with one of my hockey teammates a couple of weeks ago before a game. I was the first one in the locker room. I was there super early. So I decided to do like a quick 10-15 minute yoga session before the game to get me stretched out and everything. And he came in and saw what I was doing, and he wouldn't even say hello because he's like, man, you were like in some like sort of Zen mode or something. I didn't want to bother you right there. But then he started asking questions, and I started to realize that, I'm not the only one that was, unaware of the benefits of yoga. And now I'm seeing this session about using yoga as a social emotional tool in schools. And that one is just absolutely intriguing to me. So, and it sounds like this is an interactive session too, where they're going to actually lead a yoga session at 9:00 on Sunday morning to get you ready for the day and help you to learn something about yoga and how you can use it in the classroom.
Yeah, that session, you definitely have to hook up your laptop to your big screen, get out your yoga mat, right? Get away from the keyboard and just be prepared to do some yoga. That sounds like a good start to the day. If yoga is not your thing, there's another cool one by Natalie Binda called Getting Your Game On. It's more than just play, where they're talking about different ways that you can build play into your lesson planning. So that could be fun right there. We have a great session by Myra Deester, Unleash the Power of Math Discovery, using whiteboards, digital whiteboards, I'm assuming. So that's pretty cool. There's just so many cool things. Adam Juarez with his Ditch That Copier session that he likes to do. Just a lot of cool things that you just can't miss. And if you do miss, they're recorded and you can come back and watch them later. And, it's always great to be there live, but it's always great to have the option to go back later and re-examine after the fact, right?
Absolutely. So, and then one more that I want to highlight a little bit that I thought sounded really nice was 4 p.m. on Sunday, Abandoning the Old Normal. We've been reinventing family support. So family engagement has always been important, and it's always been something that's been hard to do at times, but it's even more important now. So this is a really intriguing session here as well. And the beautiful thing is that we've highlighted so many of these sessions, and again, we've only scratched the surface. So if we were to highlight every session and every speaker that's going to be there, this podcast would probably be 4 hours long. But obviously we don't have that kind of time. So if you are listening and you were there and we didn't mention you, it's not because we didn't like your sessions, because just for time's sake, we could not do it. So again, if you're listening to this before Fall Q starts, you have time to still get signed up and to peruse the schedule and start figuring out the things that you want to see live and ones that you could see later on down the road when they are recorded. And again, like Joe said at the beginning, these are going to be available, most of them, until December 31st. So you're going to have over 2 months to access these after the conference is over.
Absolutely. It's going to be there for you. And you know what? If you just couldn't get signed up for this before the event, but you hear so many great things about these recorded sessions, you can still register for the event even after it has been done. It's amazing to see how many registrations come in the week after the event, because people hear so many great things about it. They want to go back and rewatch the sessions for themselves. But we're telling you right now, or you can even go and check for yourself. Don't take our word for it. Go to Fall Q, go to q.org/fall, click on sessions and see all the amazing sessions as well. And the last thing before we go is the last thing before the conference ends. The last thing, which is Sunday night, that is the Silent Disco, run by DJ Ed Campos, DJ EC. Usually they do a couple rooms with different genres of music, and you go and there's a DJ in that room and you just listen and move your head. My daughters like to say, bang your head to any of the music that comes down that pipe, and just have a good time to end the day on a Sunday. And that starts at 7:00 after the last sessions on Sunday. So it's going to be fun. It is packed. It is absolutely packed. I think the only break that you have is a lunchtime break, if you want to take it. The rest is up to you. It is a phenomenally packed schedule, and I helped put this schedule together, and I just see it. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of sessions. That's a lot of opportunity out there. So definitely go out there and take a look. And hey, if you missed out on putting in a session for Fall Q, you're like, oh, I wanted to put that in. Time just wasn't in my best interest. Remember, Spring Q is happening in person in Palm Springs, March 17th to 19th, 2022. That will be in person, and those session submissions are open now. So if you go to q.org/spring, you can go in and submit a session for Spring Q in the lovely Palm Springs, and you can even register for Spring Q. I know we're still doing fall, but you can register for Spring Q and secure yourself a hotel room, because those hotel rooms always go fast. So a lot of cool things coming down the pipe. And like I said, even though we had to switch to virtual for Fall Q.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
It's still a great benefit to us because we can now record every one of these sessions and still get together. And one last thing, but wait, there's more. There's one last thing I want people to know is sometimes people want a little bit of unstructured time, right? Maybe there's out of 13 sessions in an hour, maybe none of them really resonate with you. Hard to believe, but maybe not. We've created something that we call hallway chats. So there's going to be rooms that are open to anybody. There's no moderator. There's a topic for the room and maybe some driving questions, but you don't have to use those questions. So there's a meet and greet. If you just want to meet new people and ask them how their day's going, there's a meet and greet room. There's a TOSA chat. If you're a TOSA and you want to talk about what you're doing to increase learning with teachers on your campus, or how are you experiencing this year? Are you getting pulled from your duties and being asked to sub? TOSA chat room is a place that you can talk about. Tool time. Talk about your favorite tools, how you're using them, what's coming out there. SELF, so self-reflection. What are you doing to take care of yourself? How are you finding happiness and joy in your teaching and your life? And then finally, book chat. It's a great follow-up to our Meet the Authors. What book are you currently reading and what should we read? And what are you looking forward to reading? So a lot of great unstructured time in here as well. And these rooms will be open the entirety of the conference. You can hop in and hop out whenever you want. So a lot of great opportunities to connect, network, and learn, and just be the conductor of your own learning train coming down the mountain. So any final words before we kind of wrap up this Fall Q preview extravaganza?
No, I think we covered it pretty well, and I am disappointed I'm not going to be able to do any of the in-person, or let me rephrase that, the live, the synchronous sessions or anything. I will definitely have to go back and do it asynchronously on the recordings if I choose to do so. But I do look forward to seeing the interaction on Twitter, though. I'm sure lots of people are going to be posting left and right the different things that they're learning from the session. So, and that's always fun as well. So looking forward to seeing some of that, though, in between my hockey games that I have that weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing all of you. Looking forward to chatting with you. If you have any questions at all about the event, please never hesitate to contact either of us at Joe Marquez 70 or for Kyle at Anderson EdTech. And again, if you are a fan of the show, if you are a longtime listener or a first-time listener, we would love to hear from you. So we do have a Flipgrid that you can introduce yourself. If you like the podcast, if you agree with what we strive to do, and that's to push the boundaries and talk about the hard subjects and bring up some different ideas, that means you are a member of the EdTech Army. If you agree with all that stuff, if that resonates with you. And so we'd love for you to go on and record on our Flipgrid and say why you became a member of the EdTech Army, who you are, and what you do. And we'll send you a sticker pack for doing that. So a lot of great ways for you not only send us a message, but show that you are a member of the EdTech Army. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And Kyle, any final words before we have this episode come to a close?
Nope, I think we're good. That is
all right. Everybody, you know what? I hope this middle of the week episode drop brings a smile to your face. It always brings a smile to our face to record it and to connect with you. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you so much for all the hard work you put forth for your staff, for your students, and for yourself. And as always, keep on innovating, keep on pushing the boundaries, and just keep on being the amazing teacher we know you continuously strive to be. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful week.